Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Sita here. I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to try and show you my weaving process. Never done this before, but anyway. Here's a good look at some recycled sari silk yarn. Isn't that just amazing? Looks absolutely gorgeous and scrumptious. And then there's a combination here of a whole lot of different silks and a little bit of cotton. But I'm going to explain that all to you a little bit later. There's some Erie silk, there's some mulberry silk, there's the recycled sari silk, and I'm going to be weaving with all of these. I am almost done with this piece of work that is on the loom right now. I've got about another 10 or 12 centimeters to do, so I'm going to try and show you that process. But while I've got the camera freely, I'm going to show you what I've been making with my weaving. These are 2 bags. This is a glorious piece of weaving done with some very brightly colored recycled sari silk and mulberry silk, and been made into a lovely bag. It's got this little fringe on the side, and this is a lovely crossbody bag that's also been hand woven with the recycled sari silk, and it has this gorgeous overlay flap of kanta, which is Indian embroidery. And then my very creative tailor has used the warp threads as a fringe on the flap of the bag, and it's lined with this absolutely gorgeous block printed cotton, Indian block printed cotton. This is a stunning bag actually. It has a adjustable strap, goes over your body, and this is more of a handbag style. And while I'm showing you, here's another glorious piece of skein of lovely recycled sari threads. These are all just things and bits of material that are lurking around in my space, and waiting to be used. So I'm not so sure how good this angle is, but let's have a go. So what you can see in the screen right now is my lovely Ashford table loom. It's Ridgud Heddle loom is what it's called, and it folds up incredibly nicely into a beautiful tote bag, which makes it possible for me to take it on my nomadic journeys. This is the first time I brought it to India, and I'm really loving it. I'm loving being able to weave the fabric with the silk that I am buying here. It's absolutely gorgeous, all of it, and turn them into the lovely bags that I've just showed you. So I'm going to just finish off this piece, maybe not totally all of it on screen, but just to show you the process. So here we go. Let's put it in the up shed, and I'm taking my shuttle with a strand of this lovely mulberry silk. This is totally natural undyed mulberry silk, which I do source in India and bring home to South Africa, and I am using it as well and really enjoying it. So let's go. To tuck in the tail here. Oh, there's a fleet of Air Force jets by the sound of it flying overhead, so I'm really sorry about that, but they'll go. They come and go. There's a very large Air Force base here in Jodhpur. I'm in Jodhpur in Rajasthan, and it's pretty close to the Pakistan border. So they have a very large military presence here, being right on the border of the country. I think it's more of a presence than a need, but nevertheless, they do fly around. So I'm just sort of randomly choosing some yarns to use in the final section of this piece of textile, which, look, you can see it there. It's absolutely gorgeous. That gold color, that is Erie silk, and the natural is mulberry silk. And I'm just working my way to the end of this warp, which is nearly there. And then I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to show you that as well. So I probably won't show you the whole entire process of the weaving, because that will just be a bit boring, and I don't know if you can really see very well. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at these action videos. It's not my usual. But let's have a go. So I'm beating it down quite firmly. Normally, if I was making a scarf or any other kind of garment accessory, I would not really be doing such a hard beat to pack down the weft threads. But because this is going to be a bag, I don't want a loose tension on my weave. I want it to be firm and durable. So hence I'm giving it a good beating, as they say. So this is really lovely. Just have it on your lap. Very easy to operate. Now I'm going to add in a bit of texture. This is quite an interesting thread yarn that I have had in my stash for some time. It's actually a double strand of cotton and a slight bit of, I think, silk or polyamide on the black, just to hold it together, and it's got this sort of slubby texture. So every now and again I add a couple of rows of that in, so that it just gives a bit of interest. Always have to remember to tuck in the tails and then cut them off later. So I'm going to just do two picks, I think they are called, of the texture, and then I'm going to go back to the mulberry silk. And you know, one can just go backwards and forwards. It's a wonderful process of weaving. It's very easy to change a color, not a train smash whatsoever. And so I frequently, to add interest to the cloth that I'm creating, I like to swap to have some texture, a little bit of color. So what I'm doing here on this loom is called a basic or a balanced weave. I'm not using any pickup sticks. I'm not trying to create any floats, warp or weft floats. I'm basically using the fibers, the threads, in a way to let them shine in this process. I hope the camera's not jumping around every time I pull down. But anyway, I'm going to stop the process pretty soon and just show you what I'm doing. So you may notice that there's some stripy colors in the warp. That is for interest. It creates a sort of background stripe, which I really like. Yeah, it is bashing on the camera. All right, so I will stop right now and I'll show you the little bit that I have managed to do. So what I have done now, while we're sitting here, is I've done this cream section in the mulberry silk, and then I've added in a couple of rows of the slubby cotton. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this, and then I'm going to come back to you when it's done, and I'm going to show you how I take it off the loom. And it's always very exciting because what I have already woven is wound up underneath on this back bar, as it were. So here it is, all my weaving is piled up inside here. So I don't really have very much idea of exactly how it's going to look. So it's always a wonderful surprise. So let me get on with it.